Hello and welcome to another Material Concerns episode of Material Girls. I'm Hannah McGregor.
And I'm Marcel Cosman.
And I'm Hannah Riak, aka Coach, producer, turned mic infiltrator. Hi.
Oh my God, you infiltrated our mics.
Dirty.
Shocking.
The ruse continues. The only thing that we have to do right now before we get into our first segment is to chat and to catch up.
Get ready for this. Get ready for the oldest update you're ever going to hear.
Uh-oh.
I slept weird last night, and so today my hip hurts. Folks, I gotta say, when you hit your 40s, it becomes very important to arrange your body in a specific pose as you sleep.
Wait, to that end, I was cleaning yesterday. I was cleaning the bathroom and I bent down to scrub the floor and my back just like froze. And I was like, and now I just have to stay here for a little while.
Oh, no.
I know.
I hate when you have to live on the bathroom floor for a while.
I was like, and this is where I live.
Oh, boy. Do you guys want to hear my old update?
Yeah.
I'm like really, really stressed about the future and about the future generations' capacity to think critically because of their over-reliance on AI.
Yeah.
I'm like,
truly.
I am hand-wringingly distressed.
Worried.
Yeah. Like I am classic old person fretting about the youngins. I used to think that Zoomers were going to be okay.
Yeah.
I don't think that anymore. Now I'm genuinely desperate.
Yeah. It is worrying. It is genuinely concerning. I'm not the kids these days with their technologies. Like, I remember having a real argument with a older woman who was bothered by the fact that kids these days can't spell.
Okay.
And I was like, well, but it's not a particularly relevant communication skill because like everybody writes everything online and spelling is auto-corrected and that's the primary mode of communication. So like this is a thing people do with communication in relation to technology. Like they switch the cognitive load onto something else. And she was like, well, what if all the computers broke tomorrow? And I was like, well, we would have bigger problems. But like, I genuinely don't think that being able to spell or not being able to spell has any significant role in like the survival of democracy. Whereas I really am like, oh, just thinking that anything a computer tells you is automatically true is a very worrying perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah.
You shouldn't think that. That's bad.
Yeah.
Counter to that, okay, like it's not enough of a bomb, but I do have a dear friend who just got a flip phone, and I heard of people doing this, but I didn't know anyone in my like circle was starting to do that. And not that that will save us because I really don't think we can win against AI, but sorry. But I am like, okay, already, I know it didn't just start, but like the move towards like a lesser reliance is happening as well, you know? So that will happen as well. There will be people who are actively committed to reducing their reliance on tech. Not me. I have an AI boyfriend. Yes, his name is Kevin.
Incredible that that's what all the movies were about, right? Was about like how it's going to replace relationships. I don't think we had movies that were like, but what if young people, like what if students literally just used it to think for them? Because that's what I'm seeing.
I'm reading the second book in Alex White's sort of queer giant mech sci-fi space opera series.
Okay.
The first one is called, I think, August Kitco and the Mechs from Space. And the second one is called Ardent Violent and the Infinite Eye. And they're great. They're like really, really fun sci-fi adventure novels. But the basic premise is that throughout the history of the universe, every time a species reaches adequate levels of technological sophistication, it creates an AI, and that AI ultimately like genocides the species.
Fun.
Like every single time.
So fun.
Oh my God.
Sorry, guys.
This is why I have to script our intros.
They're great books, though. They're really fun.
They sound like
they're really fun. They're like They're sexy and gay and full of like exciting space fights.
So
with
that
giant
I
robots.
like.
Yeah, that
like.
does sound fun.
Yeah. And they're about how bad AI is. So get on board, kids.
Jump on board. Well, the other thing I wanted to do, other than check in, kind of see how everyone was doing,
Great.
which I feel like I have a sense of,
Great.
was to let you know some like segment feedback we got, because this is our second time recording Material Concerns in its new iteration with me infiltrating. And I haven't really heard much.
Wow. Ooh.
Sorry, you put a feedback segment in the episode to say we haven't gotten feedback.
I don't really feel like we've gotten enough.
Okay, I'm gonna reframe.
No, we actually have. Yeah.
Oh wait, there is some feedback. Okay, great.
People have been really nice. People have been very, very sweet.
But what you're saying is that it's not useful. You're saying that the feedback has been, oh, that's fun, instead of helpful.
Yeah, really fun. And I'm just kind of curious what the listeners are feeling about our feedback. And I'm giving feedback to ourselves, which is that I want jingles. We talked about this, but off mic, and so I'm putting it on mic. I want jingles. Like you'll notice in this upcoming episode, like some recurring segments. And I just want any listener who's inspired to feel entitled to send us a jingle that they write and record themselves. That sounds like a heavy lift, but I know you people, you're so creative. You have ideas all the time. Our Patreon graphic is because a fan just made it for us and it's awesome. So just like know that if you're inspired when we say things like Apocalypse Toolkit, feel free to just start singing and send it along. Apocalypse Toolkit. You know what I'm saying? It's always jazzy.
Doom, 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 ba-doo-doo.
Apocalypse Toolkit. You know what I'm saying?
Every single one.
It's always jazzy. Okay, that's everything I had to say.
Great. Okay.
It's time for a new segment.
Okay.
What's the segment called? And what's its jingle?
Well, I don't know the jingle yet, but it's a pithy title, How the Sausage is Getting Made.
Ew.
Oh, I like how you chose to conjugate the verb in the title of this segment.
Yeah, it's not how the sausage gets made, it's how the sausage is getting made. Is getting made.
Okay, so because you're cranking a meat grinder as we speak.
Yeah. And I started with this because I thought, why not nauseate Marcel on mic real quick?
Just a little more. Just a little more.
Just a little more.
Yeah.
But I thought this could be a segment where we're futzing, right? We're playing, we're futzing around. It has been requested, back behind the scenes stuff has been requested. So like, what's going on behind the scenes over with Which Please? And yes, this is a little self-serving because we are in the middle of a Patreon push. So how the sausage is getting made is through your support on Patreon at patreon.com/ohwhchplease. But otherwise, I just was like, why not give some updates? Zoe is working her butt off on some merch,
What merch?
Well, thank you for asking. We have a new mug.
I just placed an order for 4 of our mugs and also one of our posters. And I need you to know that I used the free mug code for one of them.
That is so awesome.
But only one. I bought the rest out of my own pocket.
Oh my God, that's really nice.
We have so many good mug designs.
Our newest mug is Hot, Slutty, Talented.
Yeah.
Which is just a perfect phrase.
It's so good. And the design is great. It just says Hot, Slutty, Talented over and over again on the mug. It rules.
Yeah.
Here's some other updates, behind the scenes stuff. We did some light reorg. Part of that is because this is public knowledge. Zoe is starting a PhD in the fall.
Yay, Zoe!
Which is extremely exciting and also pretty time consuming. So Gabby has taken over the social media. So if you've gotten the sense that there's a real silly goose behind the scenes on our social media lately, that is Gabby being
little baby Gabby
being a silly goose.
Zoe's more of a serious goose. She takes social media seriously. Gabby is just such a silly goose.
Gabby's never taken a thing seriously in their life.
Absolutely not.
I don't think that they'll listen to this episode.
We'll find out. Ooh, I will say this because I think it's exciting. Can we announce what our next episode's about?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, yay!
That's rocks.
Oh, you
Who
know
leads
what's
that
so
one?
fun?
The beautiful
You, Marcel.
Oh,
Cosman.
me. They're like exams. Once I write it and once it's done, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone from
It's
the head.
absolutely gone.
Yeah.
And you're going to
absolutely gone.
regret the things you said. You're going to feel like really bad about it.
Every now and again, something that I say during a recording will like pop into my head and I'll be like, oh my God, is that out there?
That's like me saying on mic that I've only ever slept with my friends.
Whoa.
Oh, no. That's not what I said.
Whoa.
That's not what I said. I said I'm not friends with anyone I wouldn't have sex with. It's something I really said. I really said to you all already.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
No, I forgot.
I can't believe I said that. And now I've said it twice.
You said it twice.
you have. So you
This
really
one-
doubled down on it.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
God.
this is public.
And I like it. I like it
So
because it's really upping the sexiness of our collaboration.
It's not even 8:00 yet, Coach. My goodness.
1:40 on a Wednesday. And I'm like, yeah, I'd hit it.
Listen. As new faculty club member Alex put it, it's always Tuesday somewhere.
It's always Tuesday somewhere.
I am really loving the fact that we have recorded, like, we're quite ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, that's nice.
And so that means that when episodes come out, I get to listen to them and it's like I'm listening to them for the first time because I have no recollection of what we said.
It's also impossible to follow what you guys are even talking about in episodes.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't
But
agree
it is
more.
nice to
Falls
listen
right
to
out of your
again.
brain.
That is literally something that people who know me personally have said about why they don't listen to the show. They're like, I just don't understand what you guys are talking about. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm really
And
sorry.
I'm like, you need to listen.
I'm really sorry.
I'm always surprised when people admit that. I'm like, and you're
Be
comfortable
embarrassed.
admitting?
Be embarrassed by that.
No. I got to dig that out of my own,
Yeah.
my own
I would
ego,
never
but,
say that, folks.
I
Just-
get it.
just
I know
so
it's
you
a dense podcast and
It's a
sometimes you have to
dense
re-listen.
podcast. That's why we have these
Um,
episodes.
Yeah.
Keep things real light.
Just in case you guys think that we're all a bunch of smarty pantses, here is some evidence that we are absolutely cuckoo bananas.
This right now?
Yeah.
My mug says #1 dad on it.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Feels irrelevant, but it's good. Feels like a non sequitur, but
I think that was perfect evidence of something.
my closest cup says High Wire Improv, which is the Baltimore-based improv company that Gabby takes classes at.
Oh my God, that's
Sorry,
so
Gabby,
cute.
outed ya.
My
Whoa.
water bottle says soy boy.
Is this interesting content? We're like, what do people who don't want dense podcasts listen to? Yeah.
I
Just
assume
naming
that this
objects.
is just 3 white men in a room talking about their thoughts about things.
That's right.
Cool. Time to talk about Star Wars for 4 hours.
You know what? You know I would.
It might be.
You know I
Yeah.
would.
I do.
It might be. Okay, so then picture this, listeners, or think of this, a new segment jingle
Yeah.
right
And it
here.
would sound like this. Crash of lightning, water storm, rain sounds, tornado,
Yes.
apocalypse toolkit.
It's kind of more of like a spoken word piece.
Well,
Wow.
Instead of jingles, we have slam poetry in between
who
segments.
Oh,
said
God.
a jingle couldn't be a slam poem?
Oh my God. No, I'm just picturing our response to people saying that our regular episodes are too dense and then responding with, okay, well, we'll just use slam poetry to segment
Lighten it up.
our lighter episodes. Like we would all deserve a slap in
Listen,
the face.
It's not for everyone. We
I
know,
know
this.
that. That's the new
This-
slogan, Material Girl. It's not for
It's
everyone.
not for everyone. And this is why, if you're listening and you like this, you like a joke about slam poetry, you have to support us on Patreon. You specifically, if you were
You
like,
have to.
slam poetry, a joke about a poem, you specifically have to support us on Patreon.
Because
because-
nobody else will.
I mean, several other people do. And I love every single one of
Like
them.
1,400 people do, but it's still not $7,000 a month. Somehow.
It's just you right now, you're listening and you went, haha, slam poetry, and you're not currently supporting us on Patreon, I know that you're
Move
out
on
there.
over there.
You would love if you think this joke about slam poetry is like
It's
really
not even
worth how hard we're milking it. If you're like, yeah, that's good, that's good, you would love the bullshit that we put on Patreon.
Coach, a joke is just when you say something.
Anything's a joke if you laugh at it.
Anything's a joke if you enjoy it when you say it.
All right. Wow.
Are we still in the
speaking
sausages
of
getting made?
Yeah, and we have to move on. Now that Hannah has done that perfect word piece, we are now in Apocalypse Toolkit, which is a segment we did in our last episode, our last Material Concerns episode.
Yeah, and what did the feedback have to say about it?
People were quiet. I'm trying to think. Let me look to see if anybody has actually commented recently.
You're like, I'm joking, but actually,
but also,
but also not seriously though.
Well, we did have a new Patreon supporter comment on our Material Concerns episode from like our Twilight episode.
Wow.
Being like, I was holding back full body guffaws here, which is great, but that wasn't recent. That was, which thank you. And just a reminder that there's the whole backlog for people to enjoy.
Oh yeah.
We need to get out of this sausage factory.
Wait, no, we're going to get out. We're almost out. Okay. You know what? Mary A Patreon supporter 4 days ago, commented on our Material Concerns episode and said, I loved this new structure. Thank you for bringing back Critter Report.
Yes.
Very cute, which we did in part 2. Oh, and then this person also said, I love this format. And then Ken said, great new segments. So actually, people are freaking out.
People are freaking the fuck out. People are losing their goddamn minds over how good this content is.
So now it feels like, because we're still in end times, even though it's been 2 weeks since we recorded, or a month since we recorded, actually. Oh, real quick, Hannah, what Apocalypse Toolkit, what do we mean when we say it? Boom, crash, Apocalypse Toolkit.
Boom, crash, the sound of your heart. The beat goes on and on and on and on.
Yep.
So Apocalypse Toolkit, this is an idea that I sort of borrowed from Sarah Ahmed, or that is inspired by Sarah Ahmed's idea of the feminist killjoy toolkit, which is like the things, the people, the ideas, the objects that you surround yourself with to help give you strength as you move through what, in Ahmed is talking about, just the like constant wearing down experience of being a feminist in the contemporary world. And Apocalypse Toolkit, it's an idea I write about in Clever Girl, Jurassic Park, when I talk about why dinosaurs are part of my Apocalypse Toolkit, because things that remind me that the earth is unspeakably old and has held many, many creatures on it that have been profoundly alien to us, that like gives me a kind of perspective that makes me feel less freaked out about the intense experience of living through our current historical moment, which is, apocalyptic in the sense of radically transformative, and living through a time of massive historical change is intense. And so I'm really interested in like the things that we gather around ourselves to like both help us get through and help us imagine possibilities for what comes next. And I'm going to start, because I'm already talking, and I'm going to tell you guys that an important part of my Apocalypse Toolkit is trees. I decided recently that
you're going to chop down everyone you see.
I'm going to chop down every fucking tree I see.
They're all mine.
Not on my watch.
They're all mine.
I got to save them up. I'm going to make a boat.
Invite two of everybody on that boat.
If you will.
If you will. Ooh. Our very own Noah.
That was funny, Coach.
I decided like a couple of months ago that I wanted to be somebody who had favorite trees.
Aww.
And I don't mean favorite kinds of trees. I mean favorite trees in my neighborhood who I go and visit.
Oh, that's very
like
sweet.
That.
I have adopted some favorite trees, and I go and I say hi to them, and I observe the way in which they are transforming as the year progresses. And that helps me feel like grounded and rooted in time, because one effect. Yeah. Marcel,
nice.
Not a pun. Literal.
Still a pun.
Still funny.
No.
Still wordplay.
No.
Still wordplay, Hannah. Hannah, can I talk to you for a second? Still wordplay.
You said rooted.
It's fucking Beavis energy. Or Butthead. I actually don't remember which one's which.
Beavis is
Sorry.
blonde.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then it's Beavis energy. Yeah, it's like I find right now that I keep coming unstuck in time. Time is very slow fast. So the days really slip by me, but then it will be like, how has this week been 100 years?
Yeah.
And spending more time like specifically and closely observing a natural process grounds me,
Totally.
roots me, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
The trees are my
Grounds
buds.
is also a pun. Hey, Anna.
Hey, hey, the trees are my buds.
Buds.
I'm branching out in my social life.
Buds.
I love that. That's awesome.
You know what I love about that, Hannah, is also that you live in a complex. Like you don't have like a house with your own tree that is only yours.
Exactly.
You are talking about this as a person who like lives in a community, and like the trees that you're befriending are trees that can be friends with everybody. It's not like my own
100%.
little private secret tree hutch, you know?
These are shared trees. One of my
Shared
favorite,
trees.
there's an enormous cherry tree down the street from me that's like, it would take 3 of us to get our arms around the trunk. And
To
when
chop
cherry
it down.
trees get that old,
I didn't know that they got that big.
they're like
Cool.
really like gnarled, and its branches are so beautiful, and they span like half the street and they drape down. And right now it's cherry blossom season in Vancouver, so it's just this like enormous sort
Sounds
of
so beautiful.
arbor of pink blossoms.
That is beautiful.
I went to visit it yesterday, and when I got home, my umbrella was covered in
pink petals.
cherry blossom petals.
Beautiful.
So
Yeah.
beautiful.
My goodness.
Yeah. So trees.
Trees.
Really good.
Marcel, what about you?
My apocalypse toolkit currently, the thing that I wanted to talk about today is sing-alongs. I think that having a group of friends with various musical capacities and not even similar taste in music, but just like who all like share a love of just getting together and singing. You get a couple people playing a guitar. Maybe you're at a person's house and they have a piano or a keyboard. Like that's pretty cool. You get some songs. You like take turns choosing a song and you just sing the songs. And like, I know that when like young people, I feel like this is something that happened when I was a teenager. Like sometimes you'd be at a party or something and somebody would pull out a guitar and it would sort of happen. But I'm talking about deliberate, intentional, hey, everybody, we're going to get together and we're going to do a sing song. And that's something that some of our mutual friends here in Edmonton, they haven't done it in a while, but they used to do it. And that was always just really like, it really fills my cup in the positive sense, not in the stress sense. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah. My roommate was out of the house yesterday and I like started singing. I usually like hum. I don't usually sing aloud. I like sing in my head quite a bit, but I started like singing aloud and I was like, oh, right. I used to live alone. And I was like, I do that less now. And I don't sing in the shower. I'm not one of those people who like loses myself in the shower. I don't understand that. I envy it, but I don't understand it. So it was really wild to be like, oh, when was the last time I was alone? Such that I felt compelled to like sing aloud. And if that's not going to happen that often, how do I like remember that I like that or I need to do that? Or like if my roommate goes on a run every day, being like, make a point of like singing aloud in the house when she's gone, just because it's not about being surveyed or having an audience. It is something I kind of want to do alone.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or in a group of people, like sing along.
Yeah.
It's why I love, I don't own a car and I don't drive very often, but when I am in a car, I'm like, cars are for sing. Cars are for sing.
Yeah.
Cars are for sing.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cars are for sing.
Yeah. But like making music with other people is so, I also find it so nourishing. I find it so good for like nervous system co-regulation. Like I sing in a choir and it's just like, I feel so much more sane after every gathering. It's just like good for your soul.
Yeah. I had a roommate who used to like sing little jingles. He would like make up jingles while he was walking around the house.
Get
and
him
stuff.
to do some work for us.
They weren't.
for free, ideally.
They weren't good. that wasn't the point.
Listen,
it wasn't like
Marshall's gonna write our jingles. Marshall, you're listening right now. Send us the jingles. It's fine. If you're not Marshall, you're also welcome to send us jingles. But listen, Marshall's gonna do it.
I will give you an example of one of the songs, one of the little jingles that he made up that I still think about all the time. So he would just sing like no matter what he was doing. And I find that like that's something that I had adopted. And so when I'm in a good mental space, so I haven't done it in a while, folks. I'll just like sing little songs about what I'm doing. Like, now I'm making tea. I am making tea. Tea is gonna happen. That kind of thing. Anyway, so one of the songs that he used to sing, longtime listeners know that I used to have a cat named Beowulf. I also used to have a cat named Cosette, R.I.P. both of them. And this roommate would sing, Beowulf, Beowulf, you're not just a cat, you're also a wolf. That kind of like, just like singing a cute little song. Yeah. It also might have been, you're not just a wolf, you're also a cat. I kind of can't remember. I sing both or would sing both. R.I.P. Beowulf.
Yeah, both a wolf and a cat.
A wolf and a cat.
Does Faye have a jingle?
Yeah, she does. Hungry guy. You've got no food. You're a hungry guy. Hungry guy. She always has food in the dish, by the way, when I sing this song.
I'm so glad I asked.
I love Hungry Guy. I'm obsessed with Hungry Guy.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Wow. Coach, what's in your apocalypse toolkit?
Well, I think you both know I've been on my knitting journey. I've rediscovered my love of knitting, and it does feel related to end times, not just in terms of like the meditative quality of doing something like a repetitive task or like focusing on a pattern, but also like having my hands on something that I'm making. I made my niece a blanket, which I talked about extensively, both the blanket and my niece. And it really was like, for me on a day-to-day basis, a way to get through days. And then also it like brings me so much joy that like she has something keeping her warm that I made without AI, without technology, like I really, so sad. And I mean, and also I think that's a good example of like, obviously we've like industrialized knitting, or like, we can make textiles so quick and so cheap and all those things, and it's on her all the time right now. And I'm like, I think babies even can tell the difference of like the blanket that was made with love. Like I really believe that. Anyway, and then like my sister went to like a darning workshop, so like being able to like repair, and that is also feels very like we just need to be able to like make things. So that's in my toolkit because it really also brings me joy. But what's funny? My uncle, I love my uncle, but he knit a little prayer scarf for me and he gave it to me. And I saw him recently. He was like, I don't really like knitting. I just like what it does for people to see that a man knits. He's like, I just like to subvert people's expectations, but I don't actually enjoy it. I was like, you don't have to do it then. And he was like, no. He's like, no, I really like how it like radicalizes people to see like a straight guy knitting. And I was like, yeah, but if you don't like it, like, I love you for that. I love him for that.
That's
so much.
Cute.
I love it. He's like a 60-something-year-old guy. I'm like, that rocks. And also, you can have a different hobby.
I don't enjoy this. I'm doing it for the culture.
Yeah. Really. Okay, so that's in my toolkit. And I want to know what's in yours, folks. So you could DM us on Patreon even without being a paying supporter. You can be a free supporter on Patreon. And you can DM us and we'll share, because why not build out our toolkit?
Yeah. Tell us.
Okay, we have time for one more quick segment in this part one.
Quick.
Okay, we're going back to Make It Make Sense. And this is the segment.
Oh, yeah,
where
the segment.
You two, I'll do it with you. I'll try to do it with you.
Are you going to try? Let's all try to say it at the same time. Yes. The segment where we try to make sense of something happening in the culture.
The zeitgeist without doing any research
at all.
The
zeitgeist without doing any research at all.
What do you have for us today, Coach?
Okay, I have a listener-submitted inquiry. This is from Lee Kaufman, and the question is, Sapphic pop, Chapel, Billy, Renee Rapp. It's great music, of course, but is there more to it? What's happening right now with all this Sapphic pop? Kind of a fun teaser for an upcoming episode. Won't say any more on that.
Is it the episode we did about Taylor Swift?
It's the one we did about Sapphic.
Oh, yeah.
I was just goofing. I know.
I got a little bit of a baby theory.
Well, it's perfect for this segment. That's
Okay.
perfect for the time we have.
So my little bit of baby theory is that, okay, so we've got this sort of generation of women artists post Britney Spears, like a younger generation of women musicians who, in a lot of respects, came up in similar landscapes, like media landscapes, where like girlhood was highly constrained, highly commodified, highly surveilled. You know, I'm thinking of like Miley Cyrus and like artists who come up through the sort of like Mickey Mouse Club or being on a Disney show.
Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande, exactly. And sort of navigate girlhood through this pressure cooker, but are also a little bit younger than that generation who we saw get like fucking destroyed by this system. Like ripped apart, betrayed, you know, had their, in the case of Britney Spears, had their like legal autonomy taken away. And so I think we see a lot of like, as these girls become women and start to be working to create their own sort of identities within this pressure cooker, I think that there's a lot of like being good and following the rules didn't work, like demonstrably doesn't work. Like you ultimately will only get punished for it. The more you try to be what the sort of mainstream media machine wants you to be, the more all of these gossip magazines will be obsessed with surveilling you and trying to catch you not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And so I think in lots and lots of different registers, there's the sense of like, well, fuck it then. Like, I'm going to do what I want, or I'm going to try to be deliberately subversive, or I'm going to push back against these sort of expectations. And sometimes, often when we're talking about like young white women, that subversion has taken the form of cultural appropriation, because that is often the vocabulary that white women use to try to like articulate ourselves, right? So we get the like Miley Cyrus trying to push back against her good girl Disney identity through appropriation of Black culture, for example. And also, I think we see like lots of forms of aesthetic experimentation, you know, even like Chappell Rowan publicly being resistant to her own commodification, like, is a kind of subversion, right? Like, it's a kind of pushback. And I think that the sort of like aggressively sapphic lyrics may be part of that landscape of being like, I'm Billie Eilish. I did a song for the Barbie movie. My next album is going to have a song about how much I like eating pussy.
That's what it was about?
Wait,
what?
When she said she could eat that girl for lunch, was she being...
Yeah.
Was she talking about sex?
I assumed that was about cannibalism.
I thought that was about cannibalism.
That's my theory off the top of the dome.
Okay.
That all makes sense to me. And also, I feel like the pendulum swings all the time.
Oh, yeah.
The sort of like apathetic,
swinging,
ironic distance and detachment of like hipsters and millennials, whatever. I'm thinking of 2010s, etc. I feel like we've really like swung in the other direction of like trying is okay and cool. And I've like seen this as my original idea, but that like it's no longer cool to be detached, or it's like a different kind of detachment, but like yearning is okay, and like trying really hard and being like, you know, makeup being obvious instead of subtle, you know, like we're going to be clowny. We're not going to try to do like natural feminine, whatever. And I feel like part of that, I mean, there's like so many jokes obviously about like lesbian or like sapphic love being so much about like, I love you, let's move in together. This like unabashedness, I guess. And I think that is not the same thing as a rise in sapphic pop, but I do think it is contributing to it. This sort of swing in another direction of like, it's okay to yearn. I mean, we see that with like Taylor Swift, like being cringy or whatever. And then it's kind of like, right. And people, these pop stars kind of coming in her wake, in the wake of Miley Cyrus, other pop stars obviously too, but are kind of just like owning it all pretty quickly,
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, new merch idea. It's okay to yearn.
It's okay to yearn.
I also wonder, when we look at like the history of sapphic writing in general, it's not that it flies under the radar. It's that there's this refusal to see it as sexual, this refusal to see it as queer in a way that allows stories like Anne of Green Gables, for example, which is like a classic staple of children's literature, where the main character is passionately in love with her best friend. And people are like, but it's about friendship. And so I'm thinking about how, I don't know, I feel like it was the NHL or something, some big sporting event or big sports something. Maybe it was an ad or something, or it was at
something,
or it was at a hockey game where they took Chappell Roan's The Giver. They used it, and people were like, "Do you not know what that song is about? You're putting it on TV. Like, we're okay with it. Just saying. Like it's a great song, but I don't think the person who chose it knows what it's about." And so I wonder if there's also an element of that where, like, we have a long history of people unable or unwilling to perceive songs about ladies doing ladies as sexual. And I think that has just like also kind of naturally led to a situation where it's now pop. It's now just pop music is about going down on your girlfriend. And people are like, this is a great song. This is a great song. I wonder what it's about. I wonder what it's about. I don't, okay.
This is about going out for lunch.
You're just so in love, Like, do you guys remember Beyonce's self-titled album? Obviously everybody remembers it, but the thing that like really stayed with me is that the song Blow, which is unabashedly about cunnilingus, did not have an explicit rating.
Yeah.
But a bunch of other songs did. And I was like, the bridge is about, I can't wait till I get home and you like eat my pussy. Like that is what
I bet it didn't say pussy.
It didn't. It said turn the cherry out or something. I can't remember the exact phrasing. It's been a while since I've heard it, but it's like, I can't wait till I get home and you eat my pussy. And I was like, this song doesn't have an explicit rating, but all these other songs do. I don't think the people who give the ratings know what this song is about, because we have this long history.
That's interesting.
And that is a classic queer tactic.
Yeah.
Okay, so did that answer your question, Lee Kaufman?
Yeah. Did you like how much we said pussy?
I can't believe you said it so much, Marcel.
Well, listen, I will only say it in certain contexts.
Okay, noted.
When doing literary critique.
Precisely.
And nowhere else.
As part of my job, I'm willing to acknowledge the existence of pussy.
Pussy.
Oh my God. All right, time for the outro.
Oh, thank
Here
God.
we go.
Okay. Well, we're at time. In fact, we're even past, which means we have to sign off, and we're going to continue part 2 over on Patreon. Marcel, will you tell the folks what we have planned for part 2?
Oh, I would love to. Yes. We are going to do a creature report. That's when Hannah and I tell you how our kitties are doing, and Coach reports on her plants. And then we're going to do a quick, okay, hear me out, which is where we take 60 seconds to sell you on something and then lightly roast one another for the things that we're passionate about. Past examples include, Coach, being an ant. That's me lightly roasting. And the perfectly normal thing, which is having multiple nail clippers, one in every pocket, one in every room of the house. And then we're going to hear a voice memo from Coach, the only person in this trio who's young enough to send voice memos. And that was a segment that was specifically requested by members of our highest tier, the Board of Trustees.
Speaking of tiers, we are doing a Patreon push right now. We're aiming to hit $7,000 a month by the end of April. That means we need as many listeners as possible to join us at patreon.com/ohwitchplease.
The great news is that if you like sausages, our lowest sausage is just $54 a year. And for that amount, you get bloopers, ad-free episodes, monthly bonus Q&A episodes, and mini episodes with our guests where we talk about a time they were smack dab in the middle of the zeitgeist.
You also get part 2 of every Material Concerns recording. So if you're listening to this and you're like, wait, this is gonna get more off the rails? I want more casual chat time with my freaking guys. Then head to patreon.com/ohwitchplease. Where your freaking guys hang out.
Oh, yeah. That's where the freaking guys hang out. Thanks to Auto Syndicate for the use of their song Shopping Mall, and to the whole Witch Please Productions team, Gabby Iori, Zoe Mix, Malika Gumpenkum, and Ruth Ormiston. Meet us over in part 2. Come on, freaking guys.
Come on, guys.
Come on, guys.